Okay, I am so happy to see that some of you are moving forward with this. We've got some very nice plans. I just want to point out a couple of things and move forward with new things. First of all, I did say that we have here different wall systems that we're putting together. So based on the previous assignments that we did, we know that we can modify a wall to create these three. So I don't want to go through that whole thing because you already went through that. You can go through the walls assignment, but we should do that right away. So if you start the wall tool, some of you use this generic 8-inch, which we don't have an 8-inch wall. We have a 9-inch, and then we have two 5-inch, and we have some foundation walls. So what you want to do here is pick edit type and then pick duplicate. And this is all in that, walls assignment. Maybe this one is going to be brick and that's it, right? Or 9-inch brick so that you know what size it is, 9-inch brick. You, like I said before, you can call it whatever you'd like. Maybe Skills USA 9-inch brick, whatever you want. And then you're going to click on the edit box there and start to create these layers based on what we talked about. Now, what they're doing with their layers, just to point this out to you, is a 2x4 wall stud is actually 3.5. The 4 part is 3.5. So they're kind of rounding it and keeping the 4. So if you look at this, if you added 1/2 inch wall sheathing, which is, or the brick, if you start with the brick. So if you start with a 4-inch brick and a 1/2 inch of that plywood, and that's on this 2x4 wall stud, which is actually 1.5 by 3.5, so it would pick up the 3.5. And then you have another 1/2 inch gypsum board, which is like a drywall on the inside. That all adds up to be 8.5, but instead of using the 3.5 for the actual size of the 2x4, which is really 1.5 by 3.5, they're using 4. So it's the 4-inch brick plus the 1/2 inch like plywood, which is the wall sheathing, the 4-inch stud, and the 1/2 inch gypsum board, which ends up being 9 inches. So create your layers, make sure you have your material on there. There's an example of putting material on those different layers. Once you create that wall, in fact, I'll change this one to 9-inch on mine, but you go through and put the layers in here so that you can get the materials so that later on you're going to see that it's brick on the inside. You see how there's exterior and interior? Go back to that assignment and brush up on it and create that. I'll go ahead and create it as 9 just so that I can have one. So that means that all of those exterior walls that you've created, you can select them and come over here, drop this list down, and go to your new 9-inch wall that you created and make sure that all your exterior walls are that 9-inch wall that have brick on it. You can tell that it has brick on it in the floor plan, and I'll by looking at the plan itself. All of this along the outside, in front of the garage, the whole front. So the whole front of the house right here is brick, but everything else is siding. So it's going to be your other one on the outside, and then you'll have interior walls. So once you create all of those, you can swap them out. The other thing I want to show you here is we don't want to end up with a bunch of little segments of walls. We need to have one long wall that's all one piece with these openings. So the openings will help you to have openings without the whole wall going all the way up and taken out. So if I looked at this in 3D and I got close enough, you see how this is going to have these openings, whereas this other one over here that's separate. And you know, this is us starting. I'm so happy that you are working with it. You see how if we have separate pieces, the whole wall is going to go all the way up. So good learning experience, right? And so, well, that's the first thing I wanted to show you is to create your walls. Make sure that you have those walls swapped out and that you have your I have my list here, and that you have your openings in there so that we don't have the walls all the way up. And then from that point, we know that these rooms are so many feet, right? But the garage itself should be longer than shorter. And I know it's hard with all the dimensions, but it should look kind of like this where, see, it's a little bit longer like that. Now, if you have any doors that need to swing back inside, you can always click on them and use these little arrows to swing them one way or the other to get them to go, you know, in the way that you need to present it. All right, going back to your plans, and like I said, the first part of this assignment is really just throwing all your walls and windows and doors on, and some of you went forward to put the fireplace, which is awesome. Now we go to insert and we pick here. Now some of you may have the older Revits, and you could pick load family and actually see the loaded families here. I did include in the modules a link to getting all of those so that when you click on here, you have them. I just haven't done it yet. But if you didn't do that, you can go here under Insert. You should be able to go to Load Autodesk Families right here. So what we're looking for, the category that we're looking for is plumbing. So if you go over, well, one of them. If you go over to plumbing, even if you had all of them in the other icon there direction, if you go to plumbing, and depends on how you want to look at this, you can look at it in this tiled view up here. You can change this to a list view. I have a whole list of things that you can get from here. You can put a check mark in dishwasher here. You can get the, should be able to get these, the lavatory vanity. If you'd like to use that one, it has a sink already in it. We have a stacked washer and dryer in here someplace. So let's take a look. There it is. I mean, you may or may not use it, but you can look at that as an option. We have this toilet domestic 3D right there, and there's a tub as well. A tub right here that is 3D. We want to try to get 3D so that when we get our camera views, we can work with it in a better way for our views. And then we have a washing machine in this one, and we're going to need to find a spot here, guys, for the water heater. Something really small and tankless, but mostly typical. We're going to have to find a spot in the plan for that. So these are those a few that we need for our drawing. I'm going to go ahead and pick load. Once it loads in there, I'll be able to use it. And then the other thing, we can go back to the load Autodesk families. If we go under all the categories, look for specialty equipment right down here. Specialty equipment. Under specialty equipment, we have domestic. We have a lot of other categories, but we have domestic. And if you look through here, we have a bunch of things. We have a dryer, so you can pick up a dryer. For some reason, they have the washer in the other one and the dryer in this one. But then also, as we start to develop the kitchen, you may want to start designing it for some type of range. There are a lot of them in here. Or refrigerator. Here's a refrigerator that has the side-by-side doors. This is your design, completely your design. You can look through here and decide on what you're going to use. Here's a range. The 30 inches typical, but there's another kind of plain one there that doesn't have the grill on the top. So it really depends on what your design is as you start to work with this. Okay, so let's say I'm going to load some of those as well. So now that we have a lot of all of that, you can come over to, and I'm repeating a lot of, not that part of it, but some of this we know we can go up to architecture and go to component and place a component. And then we have our refrigerator and different things that we can bring into our design. So once you get that at the end of your pointer, before you click to place it, you can use the space bar to rotate it. And once you find the rotation that you like, you can then place it. I'm going to go ahead and put it right, I don't know where, so I'm just going to put it there for now. So use the component, place the component to bring in all of your things that we just loaded, the tub, the toilet, the vanity, kind of rotate them around. When you click on this, you will also have a rotate underneath modify. There it is. It's like an arrow that's a circle. If you click on that, you can pull your mouse straight to the right or up to the left or straight up to establish a beginning point here, and then pull your mouse up and click, and that's going to give you that rotation 90 degrees. Okay, so start working with that. Make sure you have your walls in place. Just also wanted to point out to you that when you click on a wall, and let's say you wanted to pick up the distance of it. Oh no, I guess I'm gonna, yeah, I guess this one. If you hold your left mouse button down on this little blue ball there, you can drag that witness line over to a different location, like there, right? And it's in the center now, but if I click on it, it'll toggle between the center, the left, and the right side. So let's say I wanted this to be the 22 feet. I like dragged over this to a different wall, right? And then I clicked on it to get it on the inside. So I'm going to click on this one to get it on the inside. I click, click, click. And now if I come inside here and I say, well, yeah, 22 and enter, you see how the one that I have selected is pulled down. So use those little witness lines. These are like temporary dimensions to work with dimensions. Now, and I did say to just do the best you can with those because the overall might not be exact. This is a design, design project. Okay, and then if you'd like, I noticed that a couple of people, I don't show their project here, went to annotate and clicked on a line and started to dimension a little bit, probably to get used to those dimensions. If I come here and I dimension from here to here, okay, that's going to give me the dimensions from the center because that's by default. But if I just rest my pointer here on this wall and I press and let go of the tab key, it toggles to the inside wall where I have my pointer rested on it, and then I can click. See, that brought me over there. See, it's going to go there, but I'm just going to rest my pointer there and press and let go of my tab key. It'll bring me over to the other side, and there's my 22 feet. So just wanted to show you that in case you wanted to dimension some of this now overall dimensions. That would be great. All right, there are other things that I mentioned in the last video, like drawing these hidden lines across openings, as it looks like in this drawing as well. Okay, another thing that we need to do is we need to make sure that all of our walls have the correct height as we move forward. Here, if I go to the 3D view, and this is what most people actually turned it in this way because we didn't talk about it, all of these walls are unconnected, which means they're 20 feet by default. So what we're going to do is to go to either east, north, south, or west elevations down here at the bottom left. And you'll see that level 2 is 10 feet. Well, we'll start with that anyways. We might want to put it higher, but 10 is good. So what I want to do is select everything. I'm just going to hold my left mouse button down. I'm in the east elevation. I'm going to go ahead and select everything. And then I'm going to use this little filter up here. It looks like a little filter icon. And I'm going to uncheck everything and only check the walls. See, this is one way of filtering through a whole lot of objects in order to just get the walls. So just the walls, pick OK. And now over here under properties, the base level constraint is level 1, but I want to change the top constraint here to up to level 2. Up to level 2. Top constraint level 2. And then pick apply. And look at that. It changed all the walls up to this level 2, and now it's all down to and in line with level 2. There's something else we can start to think about, the kitchen layout and how we want to create our base cabinets. I'll show you now. If we go to insert and load Autodesk Family, we're looking for casework. So we're going to go back to everything here and go to casework. And if you really look at this folder, there's a lot here. You can decide on a combination of several cabinets for your kitchen. And we also have countertops that are different as well. I believe in here someplace they do have, here it is, one that has the opening for the sink to be placed, or actually has the sink in it, like these two. These are good ones to load, because this one's kind of an L shape if you decide for that design for your kitchen, whereas this one is kind of like straight. So this is just the top itself that's going to go on these base cabinets. So here's like a single one. Here's a double one. They have a double one for under the sink. We have little pieces there in your design where you just want to put a flat counter. In fact, I like to load that as well. So look in here, see what you want to use. I'm going to load those just to be able to show this to you. And then at that point, they're actually like a component. So you can go over to architecture and pick component and place a component, and you'll start to get those things that we're working with. So here's like a straight counter. I want to put it there, let's say. And then over here, we have like this L-shaped counter. Remember, you can use your space bar to rotate it around, but let's just say that's your design right there. That's only the counter itself. So maybe this one, you want to have it over here. I'd have to rotate it because you can see the backsplashes at the back. But once you have it in place, you can use all these arrows to pull it over, make it longer. You can even change the location of the sink as you're working with it. And so that's just to kind of get you started. You can go over here and grab your base cabinet, and whichever cabinet you decided on. There are all these different widths that you can work with. There it is. Let's say I want to rotate it so that I can place it over here underneath this countertop. So it's going to go like right around there. Now I have to check it out to make sure that it's okay, because sometimes I have to turn it around, but I'm going to go ahead and click on it and use the arrow keys to get it down in underneath there. Now if I want to see it, I want to see what that actually looks like. I'm going to go up here underneath this this house icon and pick camera. We did this in one of the assignments. I'm going to click over here and pull my mouse across so you can kind of see that cabinet. And now you can kind of see that I'm developing a view of it so that you can kind of look at how it's working out. We might want to lift up these windows a little bit as as we're working with it. We can change the sill height right here instead of it being 3 feet, or change out the window. You might even just decide to slide it over if depending on your design. There's a lot we can do with this to be able to work with it. You can even take this counter backsplash off. So work with that a little bit. There's more to come with that. You'll see as we start to move forward with our kitchen design. But at this point, I think you're ready to pull in the refrigerator and the stove and the dishwasher and maybe these counters. Maybe this one's just like a little counter that's over there somewhere by the stove, with a little base cabinet underneath it, because you're going to load the one that works, with that counter, and start to develop, your kitchen. You may even have an island in here, and we'll talk more about some of those details, because you might not want, like, for instance, a backsplash on it, and that becomes more of modifying a family itself. So yeah, do the best you can at bringing in all of those components, those cabinets, and those fixtures. That would be kind of our next step. Fix your walls, get your floor plan to look sort of like this as we move forward. All right, have fun with it.